OK, today is a very important one for Derby. They'd been set a deadline by the EFL to show proof of funds that they can complete the season. Now, the EFL have just released a two-sentence statement. Here it is. On the 27th of January, the EFL and Derby County's administrators, Quantuma, announced a 4-week extension to the deadline for the provision of evidence of sufficient funding to complete the current season. The administrators have not yet provided that evidence, and we await an urgent, they say, further update from them on both that and the announcement of a preferred bidder. Rob Dorset, our senior reporter, joins us now to talk about this. You've been across this story from the start, haven't you, Rob? So what do you read into that? Is that them saying, hang on a minute, it's 4:30, where are you?
That's exactly what it is.
Good, OK.
That's exactly what it is.
Well.
Yeah, it's the EFL showing increased and repeated frustration that Derby aren't getting themselves out of this mess, that the administrators aren't able to provide evidence that they can complete their fixtures for the remainder of this season. And that's the EFL's priority here. There are various stages to this. The first priority for the EFL is, have you got enough cash to mean that you can play every single game you've got for the remainder of this season so that we maintain the integrity of the competition? That's the first thing. That's what the EFL are asking for. And that's the most crucial, the most urgent. Beyond that, they want to know that they've got new owners that are going to keep the club stable for the longer term. But one thing at a time, that's what the EFL set this deadline for. Remember, it's already a month extension that Derby's administrators were granted from the first deadline that the EFL set them. But the crucial factor here that affects all of this is the people that have bid to buy the club, and we don't know who they are. We think one of them is Mike Ashley. Did the Carlisle Group from America get a bid in on time? That deadline set by the administrators was the end of last week, and we've heard nothing from the administrators since. They're still assessing those bids, going backwards and forwards, asking for clarification on some details, I understand, before they announce a preferred bidder. And as soon as the administrators announce a preferred bidder, it's a technical term, but what it really means is, OK, we think you can buy the club, and we're going to give you exclusivity to go out and complete the deal. Okay. And that's what the EFL want to hear. They want to hear that Derby's administrators have done that so they can go, OK, we know that this new preferred bidder is going to keep the funds coming in and they're going to be able to fulfil their fixtures. So it's exactly what you said right at the start. This is the EFL saying, hang on a minute, guys, this is getting close. The deadline is today. Of course, we don't know whether it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 23:59 tonight, because they're never that specific. And I think that's deliberate to give a little bit of leeway for matters to get resolved. But it's absolutely the EFL saying to Derby's administrators, we haven't heard from you. We gave you a 4-week extension. That deadline is up today. Get talking to us.
And let it not be said, if you go on any Derby kind of forum, the fans want to know as well.
Of course they do.
They're desperate to know.
And this is a club that was founded in 1884 that has real concerns amongst the supporters that they may be going into liquidation and may not exist as a football club anymore. So it is really, really serious. And we thought that the deadline set by the administrators for the end of last week for the bids to come in would be the end of the matter. And we expected it to take a couple of days for the administrators to go through it all and say, right, you're our preferred bidder, let's move forward with that. Big sigh of relief by everybody, and we move forward. That hasn't happened as quickly as the administrators expected, as quickly as the EFL wanted. And ultimately, the EFL could, at some point today, say, you haven't provided proof of funds, we're going to withdraw your share, which means Derby wouldn't be able to play in the Championship for the rest of this season. They would lose their right to play in the EFL. Now, that's the nuclear option. This is one stage before the nuclear option, as far as the EFL are concerned. This is a final warning. Oi, Derby's administrators, not only have we told you in private we want this sorted as quickly as possible, we're going public and we're telling the media that you haven't done it yet and we want it sorted. So, yeah, the next few hours could be really interesting from a Derby perspective. If the administrators can come up and say, yep, sorted, here's our preferred bidder, it all goes away in that panic. But there's a bit of brinkmanship going on here by all sides, and the EFL are clearly getting increasingly frustrated, and they've reminded Derby's administrators that there's a tight deadline here.
Yeah, and just finally, they're not going to say, hang on a minute, we can extend it again. They've already given them a 4-week extension.
That we don't know.
OK.
That we don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I think if Derby's administrators came back and said, look, here's proof of we've moved forward and we're close to getting a preferred bidder,
okay,
I think they probably would, because the EFL don't want to see Derby go out of business. They don't want to have to take away their share and their right to play in the league, and then all of the complications of, well, what happens to their previous results? You know, the integrity of the competition, do we have to nullify all of Derby's results, changes the league, etc., etc. It'd be a complete mess. So the EFL will try everything they possibly can to avoid that happening, and they don't want to see one of their founder members going out of the league. So I'm sure there is some flexibility. These are technically arbitrary deadlines that are being set, But it's very clear in that statement the EFL are getting more and more frustrated, and they are giving the hurry up to Derby's administrators to get this one sorted.